Welcome to a new video. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, I don't know, but welcome back. Let's start with saying that yes, I did some adjustments to my model. I added some things, I re-rigged them out, which probably was a mistake. I also need to fix things. Look at the monocle. It's things, but yes. Today we're here because I decided to make a video for you, of course, because that's what I do in my free time, sometimes. Anyway, I am, as all of you can clearly see, what I would define an artist. And as the majority of the artists out there, I'm lazy. And I have no intention of making things that requires too much work because I get bored, okay? So what I do is use some tools to make my life a little bit easier, and I've decided to share them with you. Today we're gonna take a look at 4 different tools that will help you save time in whatever you're illustrating or doing. The first one is the bucket tool, then we have the lasso tool, then we have this little ice cream cone that you can get because of ClipStudio, and then the magic wand. The magic one is the last one because honestly I don't use it very much, I don't know it very well, but I know that it can be useful, so I'm gonna add it there as the last one. Let's start by opening a new canvas thingy, illustration thingy. I already had one of them. And then we're going to add a layer. So let's say that we want to color something really quickly. What we have always done for us who started as not digital artists was to draw our whatever, like, and then we would pick our color, take our pencil, and start coloring like this, right? This takes too much time. So when I can, I don't do that. What I usually do when I have a clean line art or a space that I need to fill up is take the bucket tool and whoop, fill it up. Now, the bucket tool, for it to be functional, needs to be set it correctly. It depends on how you usually illustrate, what you usually prefer to do, but let's say that you have a clean line art that you want to fill up, right? What you can do, let me just move so that you can see, is switch all these commands that you will see here to cater your preference. What I usually do is I keep it set on all layers. It means that the program will use the bucket tool by looking at all the layers that I have and fill up even if I am in not the right layer. I have the line art on this layer and I will use the color on this one, but the circle will still be completely colored. This also means though that if I have multiple lines going around the circle, even if it's another layer, that lines are gonna count. So let's say that I do want to color my circle with the bucket tool, but I have multiple lines and I have this set on all layers. This is what's gonna happen. I will have to fill up every single piece individually because the program is gonna see every part as a different section, and it goes by pixels. That's why these two lines got divided, right? One thing that you can do to surpass that is not choose the all layer, or also yes, if you take away that particular layer that was bothering you, you will have to fill up the gaps. Right? It's like a mask. You cannot color underneath the mask, so for that particular reason you will have to fill up the space that the lines have left, even after you took them out. But let's say that we do have lines going across our liner for, I don't know, chains or accessories or whatever, right? And we don't want to color that, but we don't want to take them out because we need to see them. What we can do is select the bucket tool, and then we need to switch to this one. This one basically will set a reference, will use your bucket tool only on a set reference layer, which also means that you will have to select your liner or whatever and pin it as a selected layer. And then you can color it, and all the circle will be full, and even if you take away the lines, the circle will be full. Let's say that you, like me, don't use a line art, or you don't use it consistently. So you don't have this amazing, beautiful, you have the lines maybe, but you don't have this amazing, beautiful, precise line art, right? What we can do in that case is use the same layer as the coloring. You've seen me do it before. What I do is I trace a line art, a so-called line art, with the color, and then what I do is go in and fill the color itself. So technically speaking, you don't have a line art that shows. It's like you don't have it because it's inside the color layer. This does though imply that you do not really have a reference layer unless you click the reference layer as the layer that you are coloring, which is more complicated because you will have to switch it continuously, which is something that I forget to do. That's why I have it all set on all layers, because I am like Dory. Anyway, this is basically the basic function of a bucket tool, and it's the best thing ever if you are lazy like me. It will not work very well with a sketch, because a sketch is gonna count like lines that go around in a not precise manner. If your sketch is very precise, you can still use this for a bigger part, and then afterwards you can, go around the edges and clean it up. Or what you can do is do what I usually do while coloring. So I will have the sketch as a base layer, add a layer in which I do the so-called colored line art, and then I fill up the same layer like I did before, right? Let's say that this is my sketch, all of this is my sketch, right? I usually lower the opacity, but the program will still see it. And then I color on top of my sketch. So what I would do if I wanted to use the bucket tool but I still have a sketch underneath is I would do the so-called line art, right? Color line art. And then I would take away the sketch, pick up the bucket tool, color, fill it in, and voila. You can also have the sketch on top of it. It's fine. This is the only way that I found to actually use the bucket tool on a sketch and still don't have to all the time go in and clean the edges, right? So that was number one, that was the bucket tool. So now that we have talked about the bucket tool, we can talk about my second favorite, which is actually my first one, but another great tool for us artists, and that is the lasso tool. The lasso tool or selection tool, however you want to call it. So basically this one right here, right? You have the polyline, you have the selection pen in which you color it and you get selected, everything that you color gets selected, but I prefer the lasso tool, so I'm gonna talk about the lasso tool. So the lasso tool is the tool that you usually cut things with, like this, right? You select the part and you can move it around and yada yada. But the lasso tool is a container tool, which means even on the same color, right? Let's say that you are either someone that shades on the same color, or like me, you like to do shading in overlay, in an overlay layer that's clipped under to the base layer, base coloring layer, what you can do, I lost the overlay, is use the lasso tool to select the part that you want to shade. Let's say that I want to shade the lower part, right? I have to be relatively precise here, and then I can just... Now, you can either use the bucket tool that you have here to color it, or if you don't want to have a very harsh shading thingy, shade there, you can pick up a lower opacity tool or whatever you usually shade with and color it in. As you can see, you can go around very freely and shade your thing. Then once you're done, you can take away the containment tool, and you have left with your shade. Now, let's say that I forgot a piece. Oh my god, I also needed to shade this part right here, and I didn't do it. You have two options. The first option is to reselect another part and shade it, or you go back to the selection. This you can do if you notice just right after clicking away the selection tool, obviously. And you can go here. You have a plus and a minus, and this one, but this one I didn't use. So let's go. Plus, it means you add a selection part to whatever you selected. If I go like this, this part will also be included. So now, if I take my whatever tool to shade and I color over it, that part as well is gonna get colored. Let's say that now I have done this, but part of it didn't need to be shaded. I can either deselect everything and reselect also this, only this one, and clear it, or what I can do is still here, take the minus, cut it off, and this part will now not be selected. So I can clear everything that is outside, and I'm still coloring in the same selected area. Let's say that you will had to make other things that only had to appear on that part, right? This is basically the basis of lasso tool. Then you click again outside, and you have it. Now, the lasso tool has friends and family. You have the squares, you have the circles, you have the polyline. You can choose in between them. The lasso tool is a freehand tool, so if you're really shaky, might be kind of hard to do. In that case, probably the selection pen or the erase selection, like the selection eraser, are probably your best friends. But I prefer the lasso tool. Now, let's go back to a mixture between the lasso tool and the bucket tool. I present you all a very, very lovely tool that a lot of ClipStudio users love, and that is the ice cream cone. The ice cream cone, this one, is a brush that you, when I got it, it was for free. I don't remember now if it's still for free, but you can get it from the ClipStudio asset. No, let's go back there. If you take the lasso tool, is probably the best friend that someone that has very sketchy lines that can have. Let's go back to not having color, and this is our clean line art. We don't need it now, but let's say that we sketched, right? We didn't do a clean line art. We just sketched something. Let's sketch something. let's sketch a circle. And yes, I am doing this on purpose just for you to see, right? Let's say that you have very rough sketch lines. You can take this amazing tool, right? And what this tool will do is fill up everything that it's included. See here, there was an opening, so it was not filled up, but this was closed, so it got filled up. This was relatively closed, so it got filled up. Here was open, and yada yada yada. Now, this works exactly like a mixture of the two. You have to select it manually, but you have to take in considerations the layer as you did with the bucket tool. The difference between the bucket tool and this one is that even if you leave it on all layers, of course it will pick all layers. So let's say that you had 2 sketches, right, that were slightly offset, but you only wanted to color this one. At that point, then you will have to select it. You will have to go to your amazing tool, select the reference layer, and then only color that one. Because if you don't do that, let's say that you didn't do that, right? You left the normal all layer information there. Whatever you circle is gonna get colored. Does it make sense? I hope it does. Anyway, and this is basically the same. Also, all these tools do work as erasers as well, meaning that you can use a transparent color, this one, do the same thing. So you don't have to go back and, oh my god, no, I need to manually erase this. No, you don't. You can either use the beautiful, amazing ice cream cone and select the part that you want to erase with the transparent color, or you can use the bucket tool with the transparent color, and what it's gonna do is do the same thing. Of course, you're gonna have to go back and polish it, but for big shapes this works, right? With the lasso tool is a little bit different because the lasso tool is a selection tool. So if you select whatever shape, you have the option to clear inside the shape or clear outside the shape. That's why I love the lasso tool so much. But yes, these are the basic 3. And then we have the magic wand. Okay, the magic wand works a little bit different, and I do not like it very much. But you have options. You have the option to only refer to the editing layer, which means that it will only pick the layer that you're referring to. Refer to all layers, which means it will basically pick everything, right? Well, no, sorry, will pick only the part that it's selected within the area, like it's a bucket tool. Or you have the selection to refer to layers, in this case the layer you're on, or the highlighted like the reference layer that you selected. See? But I don't like the last one. I don't think it works correctly, and it bothers me. With the magic wand as well, you can of course add something, like in this case, or you can take away something. Well, in this case it took away everything, but let's do like this. You can delete just this small little tiny thingy. See, I don't find it fun. So yes, these are the 4 tools that you might use to kind of help you coloring. The flat colors, at least, it should make it easier. If you have any question or any suggestion, feel free to leave them down below. I'm always open. If you need a tutorial on how to go and download brushes on ClipStudio Paint, like the brush of the little ice cream cone thingy, let me know. I might show it to you or refer you to a link that can show it to you. But yes, I will link the ice cream cone down below if I can still find the link for the brush. And yeah, I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.